Sarah gripped the dashboard as Jake pulled into the decrepit gas station. They'd been driving for hours, the Nevada desert stretching endlessly around them. The station's flickering sign was the only light for miles. "Thank God," Jake muttered, eyeing their nearly empty fuel gauge. A lone attendant emerged from the shadowy building. His movements were stiff, mechanical. Sarah noticed his hands pale and waxy under the fluorescent lights. When he leaned toward their window, his eyes reflected nothing back. "Fill her up," Jake said, forcing cheerfulness into his voice. The attendant nodded silently and began pumping gas. Sarah shivered despite the summer heat. "You folks headed north?" The attendant finally spoke, his voice like gravel. Jake nodded. "Taking Route 87. The attendant's hand froze on the pump. "Stay off that road after midnight." His gaze locked with Sarah's. "Nothing good comes from traveling it in the dark." Jake laughed nervously as he paid. "Thanks for the warning." Back on the highway, they mocked the strange man. "Probably trying to scare the tourists," Jake said. Sarah checked her watch at 11:58 p.m. as they turned onto Route 87. A sudden fog rolled in, unnaturally thick. "Can you see anything?" Jake slowed the car. Sarah squinted through the windshield. "Just take it slow." They drove for what felt like hours, the road winding endlessly. When the fog finally cleared, Sarah gasped. The same flickering sign, the same decrepit station. "How is this possible?" Jake whispered, checking the GPS. "We've been driving straight north." 3 more attempts yielded the same results, always circling back to the gas station. The attendant watched silently from the shadows. At dawn, they finally found their way out, shaken and exhausted. A week later, Sarah couldn't stop researching the mysterious station. In a local newspaper archive, she found a small article from 1976. Desert gas station fire claims life of owner. The photo showed their station before it was burned. Below was a picture of the owner, the same hollow-eyed man who had filled their tank a week ago. The article mentioned one detail that made Sarah's blood freeze. The owner's body was never recovered from the ashes, and locals claimed he still appeared to lost travelers, warning them about Route 87, the road where he had died.